There was a farmer who was happily married to his wife for years until the man lost patience, but his wife could not give him a child. Whenever he is with his friends and they start talking about their children, this man becomes sad within. One day, his close friend asks him why he has been behaving strangely. Whenever they are together, he will just keep silent to himself, worrying about his problem.
Sidiki, I notice say you no gladdy. Wetin dey mourn you? Talk to me. Me na you paddy. I no go see you no gladdy, and I no tell for no wetin wrong. The people like you say, when you explain the problem, you don't help us solve them.
Man, so for more married me wife, now 20 years don't pass we so we neighbor born pikin. He really dey mourn me oh, but wetin I go do? Na God dey bless mortal man with pikin.
Wetin you talk so now too, but God will come down and help you, and that make He send me to you.
Wetin you mean? For say you don't turn God in messenger now?
Let I advise you.
He continued to tell him he should take another wife. Sidiki told him he does not want to take another wife, for he dearly loves his wife, even without children. He believes God will give them children in his own time. After persistently convincing him, Sidiki decided to take another wife. Bintu at first rejected for fear her husband's love for her will reduce, and if the other woman give her husband a child, he will not love her anymore. In the tradition and custom of the village, a man can marry many women as it pleases him, as long as he can take care of them all. Bintu had no option but to accept after Sidiki convinced her and that nothing will change his love for her. Sidiki finally married Fudia, his second wife. The mates lived happily with their husband in peace and harmony. Fudia respects her husband and senior mate Bintu. She will help her senior mate do the housework and support her whatever way she can. Not long after their marriage, Fudia conceived and delivered a male child for Sidiki.
You must have heard the word TGIF, which is thank God it's Friday. Now let me break a little secret to you. Actually, it's not a secret. Do you know that Orange has Funky Friday and you can have 100% 4G bonus on all bundles? For data bundle, just dial star 800 hash. For Spark, dial star 800 hash. And for Orange Money, dial hash 144 hash. So jump on these opportunities on every Funky Fridays. Back to our story.
There was joy in the family. Sidiki now becomes a happy man as his fellow. He is now a proud father. According to their arrangement, Sidiki is supposed to spend 3 days each with his wives, which he has been doing since he married his second wife, until one day his friend advised him to spend more time with Fudia, for she is the one who has given him a male child and make him proud. For that reason, he should pay gratitude to Fudia. Sidiki told his friend Bintu will not feel good about it, and he promised her he will show both of them equal love. His friend told him Bintu will do nothing about it. Even if she is angry about it, that should not bother him, for he is the man of the house and has the right to do what he wants and not be controlled by a woman. Sidiki naively took his friend's advice, for he trusts his friend so much. Sidiki started sleeping more with Fudia than Bintu. In some cases, Fudia tells her husband to spend more time with Bintu, but he will rebuke her and tell her not to worry. He has everything under his control. This bothers Bintu so much, and whenever she brings this up with Sidiki, he will tell her he loves her so much, but Fudia needs more attention now as she has given him a male child, and that when the child reaches a certain age, he will now pay attention to her, Bintu. This got Bintu very bitter and threatened about the situation, thinking she is losing her grip on her man. She explained this to her friend, who only made the situation worse by poisoning her mind for her mate, and told her she should get rid of Fudia in the scene. So by that, her husband can now start paying attention to her and everything will be fine again as before. Bintu naively believed this and took her advice. She became so bitter about Fudia and desperately wanted her dead. She took her to an evil doctor who gave her a charm and gave her instruction to perform to kill Fudia. The evil doctor told her to travel for 3 days, and upon her return, Fudia would have been dead by then. Bintu successfully performed the ceremony. She told her husband she is going to her father's house for 3 days to pay a visit. The third day, hot news met Bintu that her mate Fudia is dead. She was happy and rushed back to her husband's home the fourth day. By then, they had already buried Fudia. At the time for the burial, Bintu had a white cotton, which her husband decided they used to wrap Fudia as kasanke, a white cloth which is commonly used to bury the dead. they used it on Fulia. Bintu was very bitter they used her white cotton as kasanke to bury her mate, and so she insisted she wants her cloth back. Everyone, including the village chief, pleaded with her to let it go. They decided to give her money for the cloth she rejected. They even offered to buy her new set of white cottons more than what she had, but she was very stubborn, as if there was something behind her persistence to get back her white cotton. The villagers thought she was joking about it, but it turns out she really meant it. At midnight, she went to the burial site with the company of her evil friend who advised her to kill her mate. Upon their arrival, they opened the grave, and as they were about to recover the white cotton, they heard a voice cry. Bintu and her friend were frightened, but before they could escape, both of them were struck to death in the scene. In the morning, Santigi did not see his wife by his side, and news immediately reached him about the incident that has taken place at his wife's burial site. Santigi ended up losing both of his wives. What are the moral lessons we can take away from this story? Do not take all advice from friends. Some can lead you to your early grave. If you have more than one wife, treat them equally without biasness. The evil that men do lives after them. When they tell you to stop, listen and think twice before you act stubborn, or you may regret your actions. By then it will be too late. If you like this story, you know what it is.